Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, going to go over a very entertaining and revealing email that was sent from a subscriber. That's from a guy who shares his story, how he spent his early years working in the adult entertainment industry. You know, the PORN. And he's writing in to share how, as you guys are probably aware, it's not what it's cracked up to be. He's writing this in because obviously so many young gals nowadays are going down that path. It starts with them flaunting themselves online, Instagram and all that. They get attention. They think I can make money off this. They go on OnlyFans, and it's just a negative ripple effect across their lives. And he's sharing how, while he wasn't doing something like OnlyFans, because this is going back in the day, it's still the same. The repercussions are still the same. And I'm doing this one because, as you are well aware, it's not very... I can go about once a month or so in one of the channels. It's something about some gal who's ruined her life or ruined her family because of OnlyFans and getting into that line of work. And how I guess I'm doing my own public service, if you will, revealing from someone that was in the industry that it's not what it's cracked up to be. And I'm also doing this for all you parents out there, because I know I got a lot of married guys that watch this. If you have kids, you got to make it abundantly clear. Well, let's just say daughters. If you have daughter or daughters, you got to make it clear early on this type of thing happens. You need to have adult conversations with them, because believe me, they know what's going on, about the negative effects of all this. Now, I'm sure you're laughing saying, ha ha, good luck telling some hard-headed teenager that you know better, right? Fair enough. But also as a parent, you need to make it clear that this will not be tolerated. You're not going to disgrace yourself or disgrace this family by going that line of work. And if you do, don't ever come back home. You got to be harsh. You got to be tough, because you've heard the negative stories. I did a story a couple days ago on my on the SSM Clips channel, which, by the way, you should all join, about this 19-year-old gal from the UK who started an OnlyFans, and she was marketing herself through TikTok, and it went viral for some reason, 7 million views. And as a result, her family found out about her, and she was doing all these videos in their house. She's only 19, and they're pretty much telling her either end this or get the hell out. And she was posting on Reddit, throwing a little temper tantrum, saying that they're old-fashioned and it's bullshit and all that, when it's like, it's in their house and you're disgracing them. But she's acting like a typical I know everything 19-year-old, and she's debating whether I should just keep doing this because, you know, it's my life and blah blah blah. But she said she couldn't make enough yet to pay for herself to live. She has still to live at home to make money from this. And I was like, and she said she was in the top 7%. And I did a whole thing about that. And she was saying how she didn't care what people thought. Well, I did my videos, and guess what? She started taking down all her posts on Reddit, because obviously she was getting such a backlash from people that watch my videos and other people commenting. And I might add, I wouldn't touch her with a 100-meter pole. She was chubby and not good looking, and she was in her prime at 19. But the point is that this type of stuff happens. It needs to be shared, the problems that happen. You're not making the kind of money you think. Only the top percent make the real money, and even then, you know, they're probably foolish with money and piss it away. And this happens so much. You have people that have stable careers as teachers, as lawyers, as nurses, and they ruin everything because of this. So I thought we'd going to go over here. But before I do, real quick, I had a subscriber write in. He's having some trouble in paradise. His wife is a nurse, and found out that she's been cheating on him. And not just cheating outside of the hospital. Apparently all the nurses and staff are all hooking up with each other. And he's writing in saying, what the hell is it with the nurses? So I'll read this real quick before I get on to the story about the adult entertainment industry. This guy says here, hey SSM, I've been listening to your channel since I discovered my cheating wife's escapades. I keep hearing a theme of you talking about the damn nurses. Please describe what exactly the stereotype is with nurses. I ask because it's personal. I discovered that my wife, a nurse, was banging a coworker, a married male nurse. After being convinced and shamed by her family to give her another chance before leaving, I did some digging and discovered her whole effing nurse team not only knew about this affair, they covered it up for him and her. In addition to that, they were all having affairs with each other and cover for each other with false alibis to fool everyone's spouses. I would like to hear what it is about nurses and if it's actually a phenomenon among all nurses. Thank you. So, number one, bro, I'm sorry that happened. I really am. Number two, Kick her to the curb. Don't waste your time with this forgiveness shit, second chances. It's not going to work, and you know this from watching my channel. What's the deal with nurses? Well, I don't know because I am not a nurse, so I couldn't tell you. My mom was a nurse, and don't start on me with that one, guys. And I didn't want to think about what you were all thinking about. But at least she retired when my dad and her got married, and he was a doctor. Again, talk about a stereotype. What is it? I don't know. But the stories are across the board from all over hell and creation that nurses have a reputation, not only just for cheating, but actually at the hospital and with each other, with the staff there. Now, nurses and doctors, surprise, surprise. But I'm talking about like during shifts, running off to the supply closet, and that nurse is giving, Bob the male nurse, some head in the closet. It's crazy. But and I've actually had a guy once write in who worked in hospitals, and he was traveling nurse, I think. And he, they were temporary jobs, a year here, 2 years there. And he wrote in saying, from coast to coast, all over the country, it was the same damn thing. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a very intense environment, or maybe it's become the thing because everybody knows they do this. I don't know. But the point is, for you guys out there that are young, and you are relationship guys, be aware of this. You get yourself involved with a nurse. Nurse, like I can't talk right this morning. I have a girl who is my brother-in-law's little sister, who is a nurse. And raised well, traditional family. She's married now, has a kid. I'm hoping like hell this young gal who's in her late 20s has not gone down that path. You never know. I haven't seen her in years. I could probably ask her about her coworkers, and she might reveal some things, but who knows. So I don't know what it is, but guys, just be on the lookout. Be careful if you get involved with a nurse. I'm not saying they all do this, but it certainly seems that a hell of a lot do. Who knows what is the draw? And bro, I wish you the best, but kick her to the curb and move on. Now, on to the main story about this guy's, what he reveals about the adult entertainment industry. And by the way, as you can imagine, he wanted to remain anonymous for obvious reasons. He says here, hey SSM, I would just like to say that your content is phenomenal and very helpful. I thought about writing in some of my own stories about what is the adult industry really is about, and I'm sorry if the email is poor. I'm not very good with emails, and that is my excuse. First of all, I would prefer to stay in the shadows, but for the sake of the story or info, whichever you take it, as whichever, just call me Zero. Okay, Zero, no problem. Guys, remember, you guys write in your stories, you will always be anonymous. I will not reveal your names, your email addresses, any personal information. You're safe. Just to help me out in your stories, and you tell stories about other people, use different names. Don't use different names. Don't reveal where you live. Common sense, and you're fine. Anyway, here goes. I know a lot of dudes, more specific teens, watch you and might consider doing PORN as a job, but I would like to say it's not as easy or forgiving as most would think that it is, and it has lots of cons, a lot more cons than pros to it. Well, I don't think there's any guy that watches me that wants to do this, but I do have a lot of parents out there that should be aware of what can happen if their daughters get caught into this bullshit thinking, get in this line of work. And I do have gals that watch this, and, well, pay attention, ladies. He says, the first con, you're not in a secure job. Man, woman, or whatever you identify as, you're not in a secure job. On the woman's side, it's looks that fade, where you're more than likely to not be as popular anymore, and if you don't look good enough to begin with, most agents won't give you a second look. Yeah, that's the thing. While there is obviously a market for older women in terms of cougars and all that, because at the end of the day, people have their tastes and preferences, if you will, what they're attracted to. And so there's obviously a market for a woman that looks like this or does this or whatever. But still, generally speaking, the ones that are going to be the most demand are very young in their prime gals. And as they age, they're going to be less in demand. It's just how it is. A woman's prime is in her teens and 20s. So a lot of these OnlyFans girls, they start in there when they're 19 years old, they're freshmen in college, and maybe for whatever reason, because they have a certain look, or they got lucky with the algorithm, or they're good at marketing themselves, they got a bunch of dudes that are signed up to look at them, their pictures, their videos, and all that, and they think they got it made forever. Well, guess what? Your looks will fade in time, and there'll always be some younger, prettier girl to replace you. But how many young people, or anybody in that matter, think long term? He says, for men, First impressions to the agent and camera crew determine if you're worth anything. It also depends on how available and reliable you are. Can you show up on time? Can you perform under pressure? How erect can you stay? Are you able to release on command and be hard on command? And my personal favorite, can you do it with dudes and cameras watching you at all times and be nude around a lot of people? Sounds like a lot of pressure. That is the part most people don't put into account until it's time, and some slip up. And the first few times you got to show that you're worth something. You'll be yelled at, you'll be judged. Some are cool cameramen and others are a-holes that you're working with. That's all that matters. There you go. Now, I got to say this. I mean, it seems to me, I've actually read up on some of these things because I've been curious. I'm always curious about different things. Male PORN stars are truly dime a dozen. It's all about the women. And even then on the women, obviously it's a small percent that become super successful and they got to be really well known, which actually isn't a good thing. And obviously they have a certain time frame with their age. Next one, second con. You need a backup plan. And he says he underlines this, highlights this with an exclamation point. I can't stress this enough. You need a plan if things go south. And I don't mean down south. I mean, if it doesn't work out, you will need a non-PRN option ready that is reliable income. He says you will destroy relationships, job opportunities. You'll be considered less than human to some if it goes too far, but it's pretty much everything goes up in flames. Yeah, this line of work, you're only going to do it for so long. So somebody that's young in their prime has to be aware that, okay, you can do this, you may make some money now, but down the road, you may not be able to get a job, especially in the age of the internet. No one's going to want to hire you, and you're going to destroy relationships. Nobody's going to want to be involved with you. You'll disgrace your family and all that. Is it worth it? But again, try having that conversation with some young kid, some Gen Z, a Z-tard, as let's be honest, most are. They're Z-tarded. And getting them to actually listen to you. Good fucking luck. But yeah, and you need to have a backup plan. But a lot of people most people don't think long term. They think about short term and how it's going to make them feel. And why do you think so many people are fucked on so many ways and can never retire or anything like that? The instant gratification society that we live in. He says, I shouldn't have to say that, but people don't learn until their lives are a giant shitstorm. So if you don't proceed with it, have a plan, since most dudes will quit or fail and they're screwed. Number 3. This is not a con, but something that me and my buddies, your buddies, your fellow adult entertainment workers when you were younger, have seen. I will say, just because you're good in the bedroom does not mean you're good on the shoot, since PORN and bedroom action are night and day difference. Well, obviously. I just thought I would throw that in there, but if you're interested, go to swinger places and or parties and let people watch you bang or see if people are screwing, and will allow you to record or allow everyone to record you. As he said, he's not very good at writing, this guy, so I'm trying my best here. Number 4, the fourth con. You are not going to be making the biggest bank. Again, he has this highlighted and bolded and everything. Oh, gee, you're not going to make the money you think you were? Imagine that. You might think you might make more than some jobs, but you're not going to be making enough to live a life of luxury. This is for both sides. I hate to pop people's bubble, but it's true. Unless you have a good backup with the POR inside and become very known, and I mean very well known, you're not going to be living like a king or queen. Right, like for instance, OnlyFans. I think it's just like with YouTube. Only the top 1% or top, 0.5% really make all the money. When those stories pop up every so often that I do about a woman giving up her career as a teacher or a nurse or something to go on OnlyFans and make all that money, they're the top percent that make the, eye-opening amounts of money per month. Most people that sign up for OnlyFans, if they're lucky, are making a few $100 to a few grand a month. And that's not something you can live on. And certainly roll in the dough and go out and buy yourself a Ferrari. But everybody seems to think that it'll be me. I'm different. Like that girl I told you about in the other channel today. She was not at all attractive, and she's 19 in her prime. But because she got lucky on TikTok and all those people came to her, she's thinking this is great. No, it doesn't work that way. There is more, but this email is getting long, so I will stop here. But I do have more, and I hope this becomes a video. Well, you should have sent it, dude. I would cover the whole thing. We want details. If not, I still love your content and it's making a change for the better. And the goal of this email is for anybody, male or female, to understand it's not what it's made out to be. I do have stories and more of what it really is like. Thank you, SSM, and have a fantastic day or night. And if you please keep putting up the good info. So these kids and adult minds, they seem to really need it. Well, you're welcome. And you know what? If you got more information, send it my way. Guys, if you'd like to hear more information about this industry and this line of work to reveal the dirty details, send it my way. Send stories. Send things that not what you experienced in the way that you think I mean, but just things you've observed, the people, what happened to people's lives afterwards, that type of thing. Because this needs to be out there because there's so many people, girls, are screwing up their lives and families and relationships because they get into this line of work. I did this many-part series about a year and a half ago about this guy, his grandfather, who found out that his daughter, who was a teacher, shocker, was doing this on the side. And it got out, and her kids were being bullied at school, and they had to then relocate, and she was doing this with her husband knowing about this, and now they are splitting up. And the kids are staying with the grandfather, and he's trying to stay strong for the family because it's a giant mess. And of course, his daughter was a big giant feminist, and thought that she's free and empowered and wanted to make a lot of money because her husband was making a lot of money, and she didn't like that he was making more than her, and she refused to listen to reason. So this information needs to be out there for people to understand, because it's just, like I said, we're in Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0. And look how that ended. So we need to share this information. And of course, it is entertaining. So bro, thank you for sending this information. You got more, send it my way. All right, guys, that was it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, you got a good story like to share, definitely email it to me. strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Whether it's a personal story about something that you've overcome or something you're struggling with, send it my way. If you have a question, just put Ask SSM in the title and I'll definitely cover that. Also, if you find some crazy fucking stories, something that's wild and out there, I'll definitely cover it. It may not be here, but it'll be on the other channel, They Did What. Or if it's a short story, a couple pages long that's good, I'll cover it on the Clips channel. It's something for every channel. Definitely helps me out, and the more you send stuff, the more I can crank them out. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.